Okay, so if someone told me when I was young that there were all girls schools, I would basically pretend I was a girl and go to that all girls school. I know it sounds insane, but I'm gonna be honest, bro. Like, you gotta admit, that's like paradise. It's like heaven. There's a bunch of women and learning. You know what? It'll make more sense as I explain the story. But anyways, guys, today's story does get a little insane. So make sure before I do get into the story, leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. And on top of that, did I mention that I am currently live right now on YouTube? So make sure you guys join the live stream on Bubba Gaming. And on top of that, follow me on Instagram for more crazy updates. And also join the Discord server for also crazy updates. Other than that, let's get straight into this insane story. Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name's Bubba and welcome back to another insane story. So this story takes place back when I was in high school. I was in high school and it was my grade 10 year. Now in grade 10, I was a basic person, but at the same time, I was a little bit of an F-boy. If I had the opportunity to do the devil's tango, then I'm gonna take it. So I remember back when I was in high school, basically me and my friends one time were all hanging out and basically chilling at a mall together. We didn't go to the mall near our school because, well, it was a mall that was near our school and sometimes our teacher would go there. We didn't really want to go pass through them. So I remember me and my friends, we ended up taking the bus to another mall, and this mall was huge. It was one of the biggest malls in all of Vancouver. I think it's like called Metrotown or something. Anyways, going on, I remember me and my friends, we went there and we were just walking around and stuff, and we started realizing something. There were a lot of girls at the mall, but they were all wearing the same outfit. I was confused at first, so I remember I kind of just like ignored it and shrugged it off. But then I realized when I went to the food court, there was a load, and I mean a whole bunch of girls wearing the same outfit from the same school. So I remember I was really curious, and I looked at my friend and I told him, bro, do you like realize how many girls are here right now wearing the same outfit? And then he said, yeah, I don't know. I think like they go to like a school, like a private school or something, bro. I don't know, man. And he basically shrugged it off. But me, I was still curious. So I remember as I was walking around the mall with my friends and basically going to like other stores and stuff, I ended up going to this store where it's basically like all like cool clothing and stuff. And when I went in there, I saw one of the girls with a uniform. She was alone, but she was like kind of like weird, I guess. And I walked up to her and I'm like, hey, just quick question. What school do you go to? And then she ended up saying some school name that I've never heard of. I was really curious. So I asked her once again, wait, so like where's the school at? And then she said where the school was at. And to be honest, I didn't even know there was a school there because it was really tiny. So I remember I basically kind of like started like asking questions about the school. And one thing I realized was that she was really shy. I asked her, I'm like, oh, like, sorry if I'm like bothering you. Like, I didn't know you were shy. And then she said, oh, no, it's fine. It's just, I don't really talk to, guys a lot because like I go to an all girls school. What is what I said? An all girls high school? My mind was blown knowing that there was such thing. Like, holy cow, dude, it's like heaven. So I remember I started asking more questions and more to the point where this girl felt intimidated. So I kind of walked away. When I went back to my friend group, I remember they asked me, yo, bro, like, where'd you go, man? Like, we lost you. And I told them, guys, we have a secret mission. We need to go visit the all girls school. My friends looked at me all weird and they're like, dude, there's no such thing. And I looked at him again and I said, bro, there is one. Look at the uniforms. As all my friends started looking around, and reminder, there was like 5 of us in our friend group. So they all started looking around the food court and they all started looking around the mall, and they started to realize that only girls were wearing that uniform. And that's when it clicked in their heads. Bubba, we need to go to this all girls school. That's what I'm saying, is what I said afterwards. So I remember after we ended up leaving the mall, we all ended up going back to our houses, and basically we started calling each other over the phone in like a group call, discussing how in the world are we gonna do this? Because obviously we're all guys. So getting into an all girls school was not gonna be easy. I remember I had a friend who was like, oh, well, I mean, I have a buddy that can drive us there. So that was transportation done. Now the real question was how are we gonna get in there? So what me and my friends decided was, as you know, we were discussing all this, my friend ended up saying, oh, well, like my mom has a bunch of like extra wigs that she doesn't need. We could just walk in. Dude, what? I'm not gonna lie. When we were in high school, we hit puberty. So, you know, a lot of us had beards and stuff. Me, I even had a little bit of a beard. Hell, I have a beard right now because of November. But going on, I remember all my friends said, bro, just shave. All of us shave. We look good. And like, we just go into this all girl school. Just wear like girly outfits. We were really questioning if this was a good idea, to be honest. But I mean, hey, why not try it? So I remember the next day at school, we all ended up basically getting together and we left halfway through lunch. We got our ride that was supposed to drive us all the way down there. And when we did, I remember we were all just basically getting all together as a group. And when we got there, we realized that this girls' school was really small and we stood out a lot. And also one thing we didn't realize was that we didn't have uniforms. Now this was really embarrassing. This was really really, really weird. But I remember my friend ended up parking the car kind of behind the school area. And me and my friends, we started putting on these wigs and basically started sprinting inside the school. When we sprinted inside, we basically had our heads really down and we tried to, you know, stayed away from teachers. Honestly, we stuck out like a sore thumb, so I'm surprised no one noticed us. But one thing I realized was that there was a change room. We went into the change rooms and we started to realize that one of the classes were already like into PE class and the girls left their clothing out. So I know it's creepy. And to this day, I always found it weird. But let's just say we had to wear some of their clothing. We stole their uniforms. We started putting them on and basically we started going undercover in this all-girls school. As we were walking around, I remember we were looking everywhere. We saw all the girls. We saw everything. And I remember I was just basically amazed of how many girls there were at the school. Like I could swear this building was super small, but there was at least more than like 1,000 girls in there. So me and my friends, we were really curious of what was going on and how this all-girls school worked. But then I remember out of nowhere, the bell rang. The hallways weren't being empty anymore. There were a bunch of girls when the bell rang coming out of their classrooms and taking over. Like there was nowhere to breathe. Like I swear every time I turned my head, I saw cherries, bro. Like I didn't know what to do. So I remember as I'm just looking around like crazy, I remember out of nowhere, a teacher comes up behind me and he puts her hand on my shoulder. I turn my head, I look up and she looks at me with a frightful face. She's like, huh? What are you doing here? Oh, shoot. She looked at me and then she started looking at all my friends that were beside me and she was so mad. She pulled out her phone and I'm not joking. Instead of like taking us to the office like a normal public school would, this teacher called the cops. This teacher straight up called the cops. And when the cops said like, oh, 911, what's your emergency? She straight up went, there are boys that just broke into the all-girls school premises. I'm gonna need them escorted right away. What? You called the cops on a bunch of teenagers entering an all-girls school? Like, to be fair, we did take their uniforms, but still, like, really? I remember I was panicking. All my friends were too. And I remember as well, like, there was a bunch of girls surrounding us, freaking out, thinking, oh my goodness, like, what are they doing? Why are they in our school? Oh my goodness, no way. Are those actually boys? Look at that guy's legs. We were all panicking. We didn't know what to do. But out of nowhere, I remember as all my friends looked at each other, and so did I, we decided to do the number one thing that any guy would do in this awesome situation. And that was run. We literally sprinted out the doors together and we drove as fast as we could out of that all-girls school. Luckily, the teacher didn't see our car or anything that we were in, so we got away safely. And I remember all my friends looked at each other saying, this was such a bad idea. And we started changing our outfits and basically going back to our normal clothing and went back to our school. When we went back to our school, I remember all my friends were like freaking out about how we just pulled that off and how we got away. But then as I looked around and went inside my next class, I'm not even joking when I said this, my teacher got a phone call from his daughter. And basically when he answered the phone, she was basically telling him how boys broke into her school. And yeah, let's just say my teacher was really mad and basically brought it up in front of the class as a class discussion of how dumb those guys were, not knowing that the guy that basically helped out to plan this out was literally in the same classroom. Now you guys are probably thinking, is there any devil's tango in the story? Well, I'm gonna be honest here. There is a time when I go back to that all-girls school, but that's a story for another day. Okay, in this generation, having like a group chat full of guys and full of girls are two very different things. Like, don't get me wrong, I've been in group chats before when, you know, people are trying to plan a party or people are trying to plan to just, you know, talk and hang out. And I've been in many boys group chat where we talk about our girls and, you know, how hot the girls are and, you know, doing the devil's tango. But a girls group chat is a totally different thing. And this story is me explaining how these group chats go. But before I get into the story, make sure you guys do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Seriously, it means a lot when you guys do. And as we speak right now, I am currently live on Twitch, just probably hanging out, playing some video games with you guys. So join if you guys do want to. Anyways, let's get straight into this crazy story. Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name's Bubba and welcome back to an insane story. So this story is about how I got into the secret girls group chat in my high school. If you guys don't know, back when I was in high school, if you guys don't know, I was a player. I'm not gonna lie. I was the type of guy to, you know, walk up to girls, flirt with them no matter what. Even if they looked like a 2 out of 10, I'd still flirt with them. Because I'm not gonna lie, back when I was in high school, I didn't have standards. Because, well, I'm not gonna lie. Like I said, I was the total F-boy of the high school. And I remember one time specifically, I remember going out with a chick and I remember we ended up going to her place. And I know this is really early in the video for me to say this, but yes, me and her ended up doing the devil's tango. And I remember midway through of doing the devil's tango, she kept getting notifications on her phone from this group chat. It was an all-girls group group chat that I had no idea about. And I remember when me and her were both laying down beside each other, absolutely not wearing anything. She leans over to me and she's like, oh my goodness, no way. As if she saw something like fascinating. And I remember when I took a glimpse on her phone, I saw that she saw a pair of cherries. And then she saw another photo with another pair of cherries. And it was just back to back to back. And I look at her, I'm like, what is going on? And then she looked at me and she's like, oh, it's Titty Tuesday. What? Cherry Tuesday? Yo, I want part of that. What in the world? So I remember I asked her, I'm like, yo, like put me in that group chat. She looked at me and she's like, I can't. It's an all girls group chat only. And I'm like, oh, well, who's in it? I remember scrolling through all the people that were on that group chat and it was just all a bunch of girls in my high school. From the hottest girl to the lowest tier girl. All of them were in that group chat talking about guys, talking about their cherries, talking about, you know, what they're gonna wear to school the next day. It was like I could predict the future and know about every girl's deepest, darkest secrets and what they look like inside and out from that group chat. So I remember I looked at the girl and I'm like, yo, like, come on, like, you gotta add me in there. Like, you already know. And after that, I remember the girl looks at me that I was sitting beside and she's like, yeah, no, not gonna happen. And then I remember I ended up packing my things and leaving, going home. When I went home that day, I remember I went on Xbox and I, you know, instantly hopped on and talked to the boys. I'm like, dude, guys, I just discovered National Treasure. They all look at me and start laughing. They're like, bro, what do you mean National Treasure, bro? We're just trying to play some zombies. And I'm like, guys, listen, imagine a world where a group chat is all women and all you get is cherries, photos, all this good stuff. That's when they started listening. They're like, dude, what do you mean? And I told them all about it. I told them the ins and outs of this group chat. Now, this is where things get complicated because I need to find a way in that group chat. There was no way I was not going to get in that group chat. So I decided to make a plan. The plan to enter the girls group chat. The ultimate secret super omega alpha beta woman ultra mega super awesome awesomeness woman group chat. I know that was long. I'm sorry. Anyways, I remember what my plan was to basically find a way for the girls to think I was, you know, awesome. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. Oh, like, I know where the story's going. I saw it on Reddit. He pretended he was gay. Hell nah, dude. I didn't pretend I was gay. No way, dude. That was not gonna work if I was gonna get into this group chat. I remember what I ended up doing was I ended up pretending that I was a girl, but not just any girl. I pretended that I was a new girl in school. Now, you guys are probably wondering, there's no way you could have pulled this off. There's ultimately no way. Now, guys, you guys gotta understand, a lot of people are in my high school. In high schools, there's usually a lot of people. Comment down below if you guys know how many people are in your high school, but in my high school, I think there was over 3,000 to 4,000 people in my high school. So the ultimate plan was to find a girl that wasn't in that group chat already. Luckily for me, I think like I have like a really good photographic memory. Hell, I have a good memory in general, knowing I can tell all these stories. So I remember I ended up walking around the school, finding the one girl that wasn't in that group chat. I mean, there was a lot of girls, but I was looking for that specific girl. And this girl was a foreign exchange student who literally did not even know English. She didn't even have Snapchat, the group chat where I was originally in. So I remember I walked up to her and I'm like, hey, like, what's going on? I remember this foreign exchange student had no idea what I was saying. So I remember I ended up pulling out Google Translate saying, hey, I need your help. She looks at me and she's like, okay, what you need help with? I remember I look at her, I'm like, typing down in Google Translate, I need you get into the secret group chat. I think my girlfriend's cheating on me. Okay, now I know it's not a good thing to lie. Don't lie, guys. Seriously, lying's not a good thing. But I remember I put that down and she looked at me and started smiling and says, I can't help. I help. So knowing that she was gonna help me, I remember I ended up telling her to go up to one of the girls and ask to get into the group chat. Because to get into the group chat, you just need to be a student in our high school and basically be able to be a woman or be a woman in general. So I remember she ended up going to do that and somehow she got in. She got into the group chat, but the thing I did to make sure that she would get in was that I instead gave her my phone instead of using her own. I got into this group chat and I remember once I got in there and she came back holding my phone saying, I got you in group chat, I instantly grabbed the phone from her and said, thank you. I told her I would hit her up later and maybe do the devil's tango with her, but I'm not gonna lie, I didn't. And I remember what I ended up doing was I ended up going straight to the boys and saying, boys, I'm in. I remember all the boys were like cheering, like, no way you got in, bro. What? That's crazy. And they were all freaking out. I remember when I was in that group chat, I remember I was just scrolling up and down, seeing all the messages. But the one thing I forgot to do was turn off notifications because I got so excited about getting a message in there. So I remember all throughout the damn school day, I was just getting photos of girls' cherries, photos of girls' peaches. I was just chilling. I heard all about the boys' pee-pee eggplant sizes. That was was really unnecessary, by the way, girls. It's really weird to talk about another man's junk, but whatever. It is what it is. It's a girls group chat. You know, they talk about everything. And girls, I know you guys are probably listening to this story. Don't cap me. People do that. Anyways, as that was all going on, I remember I ended up going home that night. And that night, I'm not gonna lie, was probably one of the best nights of my damn life. Knowing I got to see every girl's cherry was insane. But I should mention what I was doing was extremely illegal. Faking my identity, seeing every girl's cherries in a group chat. Damn, if I had the 911 crash through my door, I'd probably get screwed. Anyways, going on, me doing my own thing. Yes, I got to see everything and I was in the girls group chat. Now, how I got caught sucked. That's right, I got caught in the group chat. Well, not in it, but I got caught IRL and in the group chat. Let me explain. I remember the next day at school, I ended up going and I had notifications still on for the group chat. And I remember I ended up sitting in my social studies class, sitting beside a girl that was in the group chat. And I remember she went to the bathroom and came back for some reason. And I had no idea why she went to the bathroom. But when she came back from the bathroom, I remember I got a notification on my phone. So when I did, she was already sitting beside me. And I remember I go on my phone and I open it. And I see a pair of her cherries on my phone. And she looks over. She's sitting beside me all freaking out like, where'd you get that photo? Oh my goodness, who sent that to you? And I'm like looking, I'm like, you did? She looks at my phone. She grabs it out of my hand and looks at it and says, oh my goodness, you're in the group chat? At that point, the whole class was staring. All the girls that were in the group chat were staring at me as well. And I remember I was just sitting there like, I got invited. And at that point, they had a whole investigation to figure out how I got in the group chat. Long story short, I didn't get in severe trouble. But let's just say a lot of the girls really hated me. And some of them actually wanted to hit me up to make sure that their cherries were the right size. Because I told them I was an FBI agent. Feels good to be a female body inspector, doesn't it? And I remember once I got my phone and I ended up finally getting into the all-girls group chat at my school, I am not joking. What I ended up seeing was insane. It even got to the point where they started talking about my eggplant. Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name's Bubba, and welcome back to another really embarrassing story. So this story all takes place back when I was in high school, and this was my grade 10 year. Now, in grade 10, I was known throughout the school for being a major player. This was nothing new, and this was no surprise. But one thing was for sure, was that a lot of girls knew about me and would talk about me. But I didn't know how much they were talking about me until one day, I remember I was in the school cafeteria sitting with the boys at the corner where we would usually sit, and out of nowhere, my friend's girlfriend ends up coming into the group and saying, oh, hey guys, like what's going on? We all said hello to her and everything, but then she ends up pulling out her phone and she saw something on her phone and ends up looking at me and looking straight down at her phone. Now at this moment, I ended up looking at her saying, yo, is everything okay? Oh yeah, everything's fine. I have a question. Did you go out with this girl last week? And she ended up saying the name of a girl that I actually did go out with last week, and I found it weird how she knew about that because I never even brought it up to her. I ended up looking at my friend that she was dating to see if he brought it up, but he ended up shaking his head no, and I ended up asking her saying, wait, so like, how'd you know about that? Oh, it's in the girls group chat. The girls group chat? Wait, there's a group chat for the girls? At this point, all the guys at the table started getting really curious of what they've been saying about me, and we all ended up basically closing in on her until she said, oh, like, I can't tell you guys, it's a girls group chat, not a girls and guys can see group chat. Don't be dumb. It's nothing crazy anyway. At this moment, we all ended up looking at each other wondering why in the world were we not allowed to see what was in this group chat and what were the girls hiding. So we started asking questions like, oh, like how many people in the group chat? And when she said almost every girl in the school, at this moment, I knew I needed to be in that group chat. Why? Because, well, think about it. From the amount that girls speak to each other, think about how much gossip and how much knowledge you would know about your school if you got into a girls group chat with every girl in your school in it. Like, it's so powerful to the point, like, it doesn't even compare to Thanos' gauntlet. Like, it is so OP. So I remember that day, I made it my life's mission to basically try to find a way into that group chat. So the first thing I did was I went home that day after school and I went on my computer and made a whole new account to basically get into this group chat. Obviously, the number one rule of this group chat was that only girls were allowed, so I made a basic fake account of me being a girl. And I made it so that my high school that I went to on my profile said that I was going to the same high school that I went to. That way the girls would know, like, if they look at the account that it's legit because, well, you know, I put a fake name and everything and it all works out. But then I realized one problem. I'm not a girl. So if they wanted proof of me being a girl, there was no way for me to give it other than my account. So knowing that was a deal breaker, I remember the next day when I got to school, I was just really annoyed, but I still need to find a way to at least get inside the group chat and see if I could sneak my way in without proving that I was a girl. So what I decided to do was I walked up to my friend's girlfriend at the time that told us about the group chat, and I ended up walking up to her saying, hey, yo, so I have a question. If a girl wanted to get inside this group chat, how would they get in? Oh my goodness, Bubba, you're still about this group chat? You're not getting in no matter what. You're not a girl. No, I get that, but like, what if there's a girl in the school that I knew that like wanted to get into the group chat? Oh, well, she would have to ask the girl in the cheer team, but like, I don't know like what girl would not just be invited in. Like, there's already so many of us in it. Well, I'm just curious. I'm just asking questions. That's all. But I don't know what you're up to, but trust me, it's not gonna work. And she ended up walking away. So at that moment, I ended up just walking down the hallway, and I basically just started thinking in my mind, how in the world would I get inside this group chat? How would I prove that I was a woman? But then I accidentally bumped into a girl as I was walking down the hallway, and this girl, she didn't speak any English, and she was a foreign exchange student. And she looks up at me saying, "Oh, very sorry." "Oh, it's fine, don't worry about it." And I ended up walking away from her. But as I was walking away, I realized that this girl, she didn't even speak English. Like 100% she wasn't in the group chat. So I ended up running back to her, and I'm like, "Hey, question, are you in the girls group chat?" Group chat? I don't know. I'm not in no group chat. Okay, perfect is what I said afterwards, because I knew she was the missing piece to my plan. At this moment, I ended up basically like hanging out with her and getting to get to know her. And she was actually a really nice girl that was a foreign exchange student that was really smart, actually. And she was actually a genuine person. So I remember I ended up asking her out on a date. And the reason for this wasn't because I was actually interested in her, was because, well, I needed her for my mission, which sounds really bad, but you know, just don't do what I do in these stories. Trust me, you don't want to be me. And one thing led to another. I actually ended up basically taking a selfie with her, and what I did when I got home, I ended up cropping me out of the photo that we took together, and I used it as my profile picture. At this point, I knew that the account was finally ready for me to join the group chat, but obviously there was still one piece of the puzzle I needed to get through, and that was actually asking the girl that owned the group chat, the head cheerleader at the time at my high school, to basically let me in, or let her in. I don't really know. In reality, it was letting me in, but they don't need to know that. But I remember the next day at school, I ended up walking up to the foreign exchange student that I ended up hanging out with the day before, and I ended up walking up to her saying, "Hey, so I have a question. I'm working on this science lab with this girl, but she's on the cheer team and she's very busy. Can you go into the change room that she's in right now with the other girls and say group chat? Don't say my name. Don't say anything else. Just say group chat." She ends up looking at me like curious, and she's like, "Group chat?" And I said yes. And I ended up handing her my phone, but I changed the phone case on it to be like some pink case that my older sister had. And basically, she grabbed my phone. She walked in there. She ended up saying the word group chat, and one thing led to another. She comes back out, hands me the phone, and says, "Okay, here you go." And at that moment, I looked at my phone and I saw that I was actually in the all girls group chat at my high school. My mind was blown. I was like, no way. Because the amount of DMs and the amount of photos and the amount of gossip that was in that group chat is insane. Like, guys, if you think our locker room talk is bad, imagine an all girls group chat. It is a whole different level. Like, you will learn things about girls that you never wanted to learn and also needed to learn. Like, it's insane. At this moment, I'm just scrolling through this group chat and I'm using it as my secret weapon. It got to the point where even throughout the school day, when I saw an update happen on the group chat, like for example, there was a girl in our school that recently got dumped, and she literally said in the group chat, "Oh, like, I really wish I had a guy come and hug me right now. Like, I'm just so heartbroken." I ended up walking up to that exact girl and said, "Hey, like, you seem down. Do you want a hug?" And her eyes opened wide and I gave her a hug. Like, bro, it was the ultimate weapon. It got to the point where, I'm not gonna lie, I had to be careful how much I used this group chat to my advantage, because I didn't want to make it obvious that I was the one in it. But basically, any gossip that went throughout the school, I knew about it. And the only other people I told were basically my two close friends that were part of the boys. The boys found it insane that I was in the group chat, but obviously I wanted to use this for the power of good and pulling women. So I remember that same day, I ended up basically walking with the homies, and I ended up basically telling them like what girls like what's the tea behind this girl, why you shouldn't be with that girl. Like, it was like I was the Professor X of my high school. Like, I just knew everything. But I'm not gonna lie, the way I ended up getting caught was really, really bad. Because I remember I was basically one night on my phone and I was just snapping some girls that were in the group chat. I didn't snap as like a girl. I snapped as myself and started messaging like random girls on my own account. And I started basically using like good gestures and stuff. But then I remember that night exactly as well, I ended up seeing some girl in the group chat that I was rizzing up earlier say, "Hey guys, I'm just curious. Do you guys wonder like how Bubba is actually like making us all happy for once and not just using us?" And then another girl ended up saying, "Oh yeah, like I started to realize that too. Something tells me like some girls snitching. Yeah, who's snitching in here?" And it basically became to a point where they were actually suspicious of me. No, I didn't say anything in the group chat because obviously like I wasn't actually that girl, and this girl that I was supposed to be in the group chat didn't actually speak English. So I tried to basically not say anything. But the next day at school is where things got insane, because I remember I was on my phone basically scrolling through the group chat, and the head cheerleader ends up walking up to me and she literally looks at me saying, "Baba, we need to talk." Okay, sure. What do you want to talk about?" "No, just follow me. I remember she ends up taking me to the girls' change room, and I didn't want to go inside, but she ended up grabbing me by my wrist, pulling me inside, and she says to me, Bubba, give me your phone right now. Why do you want my phone? No, give me your phone right now. I know what you're doing, Bubba. You're not smart. You're not slick. She ends up grabbing my phone, and basically she ended up going on the account, and she realized that I was in the group chat, and she said to me, Bubba, you know how illegal this is? It's not illegal to join a group chat, is what I told her. And well, yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I basically exposed myself, and I was hated on for the rest of the school year. But hey, I mean, it was a good thing because I ended up getting expelled from that school anyway from a different story. So if you guys want that, comment down below. But what would you guys do if you knew there was an all-girls group chat? You're telling me that you wouldn't try to get in? Because if you would, then fall for more embarrassing stories just like this one. Peace out, guys.